Hello everybody. Compliments of the season. I mean, Christmas is just 10 days away. So how's everybody doing? It's Ruke over here, and I'll be sharing a couple of tips in this video how you can access funding for your non-governmental organization. So most the questions I get the most from NGO leaders or social impact leaders is how can we get grants for our organization? So you've started your NGO for a while, you've been running programs, you've been doing activities probably out of pocket, you've been doing activities from donations from friends or people who just believe in the work you do, and you know deep down that there's so much more that you want to do. You've identified a lot of problems in the communities or the group you cater to, and you're asking, where do you find this funding? Where do you get this grants in order for you to really scale up the work you do in your organization? So welcome to this video. Watch till the end, and then you can pick one or two things on how you can get started on your journey of assessing funding for your organization. So what I do, I run strategic outcomes consulting, and we help work with non-profit leaders, social enterprises, NGOs, helping them to get grant ready and get funded so that they can really advance their mission. So where can you find grants? So the thing is, now the digital tools that are available have really leveled the playing field even for you as a startup organizations. So online you have countless numbers of funding opportunities that you can really see. But I'll just give you two websites that you can check and see funding opportunities. The very first grant I got, the very first successful proposal that I wrote about 5 years ago, was from UK Aid Direct. So two sites that you can go to. You can go to UK Aid Direct. You can also go to Grants.gov. So Grants.gov is the US government for all the catalog of funding opportunities from the US government globally, no matter the country where you are, whether you're in South America, whether you are in Kenya, wherever you are. When you go to grants.gov, you're going to find a lot of funding opportunities there. All you need to do is to navigate the site, go to the search bar, type in the country where you are. Like for my clients that are in Trinidad and Tobago, you just need to type in your country, Trinidad and Tobago, and select the program area where you're focused on. If you're focused on the environment, if you're focused on governance, youth development, livelihood, you use those filters, and so it will curate all of the opportunities that are open for a particular period of time that you can apply for. And the same thing applies to UK Aid Direct. The very first grant I said, that was £98. If you in dollars, that should be about 120 something thousand dollars about 5 years ago. I got that from UK Aid Direct for the organization I was working in then. So you go to UK Aid Direct and you check for funding opportunities in line with your program area. So if you have an NGO, if you're a non-profit organization, that means you have clear thematic areas. So it's either you're focusing on entrepreneurship or youth development or quality education or gender, peace building. You need to have a clear focus. Now, sometimes I see organizations adopting so many thematic focus, thinking that, oh, this way we are able to solve a lot of problems in our communities, or we're able to leverage on a lot of funding opportunities that way. So it doesn't really work like that. You need to be very focused so that you can harness the limited resources you have and also your expertise, channel it. So when you position your organization doing so many things, you have a non-profit, you're doing environment, you're doing peace building, you're doing governance, you're doing the gender, women empowerment, you're like jack of all trades. So what we perceive, what stakeholders and donors will perceive as they look at your messaging, they look at your branding, is like you're everywhere. So you just want to try to get all the funding opportunities available, that you're not channeled, you're not focused, you're not able to say one or two specific areas where you have specialized and you have really done deep work over time. So our advice, pick one or two areas that you want to focus on, and then you find grants in these two websites that I've shared with you, grants.gov and then UK Aid Direct, to see the opportunities that are aligned with your organization's mission. So in terms of writing your proposal, see, this is something that you cannot run away from, except you're running your organization like a hobby. You know, it's just something that keeps you busy, just something you do to, let me talk like my Nigerians, cash cruise. But if you're really serious about development, you're really serious about addressing critical issues, then you want to take your organization seriously, and you need to develop the skills that you will need in order for you to get funding. Sometimes when I talk with NGO leaders and they're like, oh, proposals. No, it is the only way to get good money. You want to get funding for your organization, even if you have relationships with chief of party of different funding organization, you have relationship with one country director somewhere, the conversation is going to end with you sending a proposal. They're going to tell you, okay, send us a proposal. Let's see a concept note, and then we'll see how we can help. So as an NGO leader, one of the most critical skills that you have to develop is grant proposal writing. And this thing is not rocket science. I usually say nobody was born with the skill of writing grant proposals. At one point or the other in our career, in this work we do, we learned how to write grant proposals. So you want to get funding, you want to access money that will help you drive the programs you do beyond just out of pocket that you spend. I mean, you're spending money out of your pocket. These are finances that you could have used to cater to your bills or to some other things, but you have, if you really want to scale, then you need to access grants through your proposals. And the only way to access grants is through grant proposals. Whether you're going to have a pitch or you're submitting a document, you're going to write a proposal. And then, so sometimes one of the mistakes that people make in writing proposals is they just put together, you know, some of the activities you want to do, and that will not get you anywhere. So writing a proposal is a technical process, but it can be learned. The first thing I want you to reflect on in writing your proposal is to identify the problem that you want to solve through this project you are proposing. A proposal is not we want to train 100 teachers, we want to train 200 youths and then give them seed capital. That is not a proposal. What justifies, you know, this funding organization supporting you with that money? It is the problem, the urgency of the problem, how critical that problem is, and then how viable and sustainable your solution is that you're proposing. That is the entire document. So if you're watching, thanks for watching. I can see Ben and Nefertiti. Good to have you join me. Thank you so much for joining. You can leave a comment. I hope you find this valuable. So your proposal actually begins from a problem. Identify one problem or two related problems in a specific location that you want to address. So if, for instance, when you're in Delta State and there's a riverine community, a coastal community where there's high level of conflict, there's high level of violence, you have identified a problem in a specific community or in a specific location. So your job is to really map that problem, do a comprehensive analysis of that issue. Conflict is everywhere, but it is not the same dynamics everywhere. The way conflict is manifesting itself in the creeks in the Niger Delta is not the same issue with ethno-religious conflicts in the northern part of the country. So you need to be very clear. So the first part of the proposal is where you do an analysis to explain the core problem you have identified that this proposal is going to solve, and then you explain or discuss and tell stories of how the members, stakeholders in that community, from your primary beneficiaries, how these people are experiencing the problem. So using the example of conflict in the coastal community, you start to explain how people are experiencing the conflict in that community. Okay, schools are shutting down, there's destruction of social infrastructure, so health centers are no longer functioning, schools are no longer functioning because teachers cannot come because of insecurity, health professionals cannot go there because of insecurity, and you explain the root cause. Why is there conflict? Is it a land dispute? Is it over leadership? What is the problem? So the first part of the proposal is where you justify why that money should be given, explaining in detail the problem. So your proposal is not, we want to do this activity. Your proposal is, we have identified a very critical problem in this specific community, affecting the specific groups. Let's say, even if you want to enlarge the scope of the project, you have to be specific. What LG is, which states, not just Nigeria. You have to be specific with the location. You have to be specific with the problem that you have identified, and tell us, explain why is it necessary for this problem to be solved, from mapping how people experience it, the manifestation, to the root causes. And then you bring out your own solution. Your project has to be well outlined. These are the results we want to drive. Your project is not about the activities alone, but it's about the change that you want to bring to that community. So if there's conflict, what do you want to do? Do you want to improve relationships? Do you want to improve understanding across the divides? Do you want to create platforms for conversations, deep conversations, to transform the conflict relationships? So when you explain the result, that the change and the change that you want to contribute to, then you begin to talk about the activities you want to do. So proposals are not, it's not rocket science. It's not you're trying to invent something from somewhere, but it stems out of the problem you want to address. And so I'm putting a link in the comment section in this video for you to be able to download my book on writing grant proposal. So you can get the writing grant proposal writing blueprint is less than $4. I just put it out there to really break the barrier of people getting access, to learning and information on practically how they can write proposals, how they can put together their ideas, their solutions, and then take it to a funder and get funding for your organization. So as an NGO leader, you cannot run away from it. Even if you hire people to help you write the proposal, what happens at the interview stage, the due diligence stage, where you need to come and talk, tell the funder what your project is about, and if they don't see that passion, that coherence in what you're saying, it's not going to happen. So you need to invest time, you need to invest your resources in learning that skill that really makes all the difference in the financial sustainability of your organization. So you can check the comments section. I'm going to drop the link there where you can get the book. It's about 65 pages, practical step-by-step actions that you need to take to create a grant proposal from start to finish. So you can download the grant proposal writing blueprint using that link. It's less than $4. If you're in Nigeria, that's about 2,000 naira, and if you're outside the country, it's $4 or $3.50 or something. Like, you see the details on the website, and you're going to get it immediately. Once you put your details in the link, you'll be able to download the book immediately. So I'll see you next week. I'll be coming on another short live, still talking about how to get grants. Remember, it's Rukewa here from Strategic Outcomes Consulting, where we work with non-profit leaders, helping them get grant ready and get funded so you can advance your mission. So enjoy the rest of your day. So as we prepare for Christmas, remember that there's a lot of work to be done in 2022. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.